guys. You are not going to get anywhere in UX design if you do not know how to wireframe. So today we are going to go over what I'm calling Wireframing 101, and I'm going to just walk you guys through what wireframes are, what they're used for, why do you need it, all that good stuff. We're going to dive in. A wireframe is just a 2D drawing of a page's interface. So what that means is that it can be pen and paper, it can be digital, and it's just the layout of every screen, app screen, website screen that a user is going to interact with in your design. So like if you are designing a website, you're going to be wireframing out every screen the user is going to be interacting with in their journey to complete whatever task, to solve whatever problem. And that's really it. Like, it sounds scarier than it actually is, but it's really just, again, a map of what the user is going to be doing, and then you're going to build upon that. So why should you use it? Why do you need it? I think it's a really great way to work out your ideas and not commit anything to a high fidelity final design. I'm a fan of good pen and paper. I don't know if it was the interior designer in me, but I love a sketchbook. I love getting my ideas down on paper before I really commit further. Another reason to do that is you are trying to understand the hierarchy and layout of what you're trying to create. It's like putting together puzzle pieces. You want to understand, like I said, the hierarchy of where things fall. You want to know what content you're putting on there, how things should be organized, the headings, the buttons, button styles, all of that. You're really kind of working it out. And this is the part where you're actually doing the design, the traditional design that I think most people think of. This is the part where you get to do that. They're a good communication tool to get your design concept across to stakeholders, because it makes sense in our head, and then sometimes we put it down on paper, it no longer makes sense. This is where you kind of get design buy-in early. You can get feedback from your other designers, from stakeholders as well. I'm going to show you guys some examples, but you're really just putting boxes and squares and shapes and rectangles and text in a way that's digestible for everybody to understand. So if you're able to get buy-in to your design concept through a wireframe, then you can move on to really fleshing it out and building it out. When you're starting out, I think it's really great to get some inspiration, and I'm going to show you guys in a second, but I like to use Mobbin because they reference actual companies, actual products that you guys are familiar with. If you need examples of how to do an onboarding flow, a checkout screen, navigating inventory. So that's a great resource. But you can also use Behance and Dribble if you want to see more people's personal projects. I think people are very creative and they come up with some interesting things that may or may not work for your design, but it's just to really get thoughts started, because I know like just an empty blank sheet of paper can be the most daunting and the most scary thing about design, of like, where the heck do I start? So that is one great place I'd recommend getting some inspiration from. By the time you get to a wireframe in the whole design process, there are some things that have come before, but again, I'm just focusing on wireframes today. But in a typical design process, you will have already gone through your research, whether that's competitive analysis, understanding the market. You will have done your problem definition. You understand the scope of work. You have created your user personas, and you've also done any alignment diagrams, user flows that you need to get to this point. Like I mentioned, this is going to be a brief overview of wireframes. I learned about wireframes more in depth through boot camps, and that is what I really recommend for you guys. I did my boot camp with Springboard, who's the sponsor of today's video. And if you want some more detailed design instruction, you want people looking over your work, you want a mentor, these are the kinds of things that Springboard has to offer. So I'd really recommend that to you guys if you're wanting some more structure, some more diving deep into these topics. So their next UX design cohort starts February 5th. But if you want to be in the classroom on February 5th, you have to sign up by the 31st. The day that this is going up, you probably have like 2 days. So if you made it to this point in the video, that tells me you have some interest in inkling. So I'd really recommend that to you guys. Use the code STEPHANIEM to get $1,000 off your program. Use this to take advantage if you're looking to get your start in UX design. We are going to reverse engineer this a little bit. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to take an existing app that you guys probably are familiar with. I am going to have it kind of side by side, and it's going to be a high fidelity, full-fledged design, but I'm going to take the wireframe from that. So I'm going to show you guys just kind of the process backwards because I want you to see the finished product and how it's not that scary or daunting to create that same thing. We are doing this screenshot from Sweet Green, the salad company. And I'm just going to, I'll talk you through it at first and then I'm gonna let it flow after that. And how you're really gonna start is honestly, you're gonna create big rectangle. You will see that you guys do not need to be an artist to do this, okay? I'm gonna use multiple colors because that's what I like to do. We are going to call this, we're gonna do this as the header. And so now you can just start to, again, start putting in shapes. We're gonna say 941. We're gonna do a little thing for service. Wi-Fi, again, does not have to be pretty. Okay, back button. There's some text up here, and then we have what looks like the filter icon. Okay, and then we're just gonna say tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, tab 4. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and put in the text here, but again, if you don't know what the text is, totally okay, just a placeholder. And then these are just going to be representing images. Okay. Is the complete wireframe. And let's say if this was my project, maybe I'm trying to determine how to have 2 different images, let's say. So we've got our different tabs indicating different types of bowls or items, but you have 2 different sets of images. You've got the collections up top, and then you also have the featured. So maybe I'm trying to figure out, is one stronger than the other? Is one competing more than the other? Maybe that's what I'm trying to figure out as I'm looking at this. Is there a way to design this so the featured takes priority? Is that why I have it at the bottom? Should it be at the top? Where does my eye go? So these are the kinds of things that you can be solving for because of a wireframe. I'm gonna also show you just on the screen right now really quickly. I put this wireframe, the Sweet Green wireframe, into Figma just so I wanted to show you guys what that looks like if you are also wanting to take it digital. Again, you don't have to start on pen and paper. You can go straight to Figma, to whatever tool you want to use, or I kind of do a hybrid where I kind of half started out on pen and paper, and then when I really want to fully fledge it, then I go into Figma. So there's just different ways to do this. There's not one way that is the right way. It's just whatever makes sense for you in your process as you're kind of learning how you want to design. Wireframing is just a part of the process, just a small part of my day. So if you want to know what a UX designer does on a day-to-day, check out this video here where I dive in all about it.